back to my channel. So today we are recreating some of our childhood favorite foods.
Yep.
So I'm assuming a lot of you guys will recognize these foods, but it was just really fun to kind of like recreate them as vegan versions. Before we get into the video, we want to say a quick thank you to the amazing sponsor of today's video, which is Care Of. It is a personalized vitamin service. So basically how it works is you take a quiz online and then it offers you vitamin recommendations, and then they make you a month's supply of personalized vitamin packs. They have your name on it and a little quote or a little fact, which I will get into a little bit later because this is actually what inspired this video. I got omega-3, magnesium, and zinc.
I got vitamin C, B12,
Omega-3.
and rhodiola.
So basically it has all the vitamins that you need to take that day. I love that you get a little dispenser, and these vitamin packs are compostable. Every month there is kind of a theme to the little facts and quotes that are on the front of each package, and this month's theme was blast from the past. And so when we opened up our boxes and we started talking about it, or talking about 90s things, and we were like, oh my gosh,
Very fitting.
we should recreate 90s foods. If you guys want to get 25% off your first month of Care Of, you can click the link in the description box below, use my discount code, and you'll get 25% off. So now it is time to get into the recipes. So the first one we made was Bagel Bites, and I grew up on Bagel
Personal
Bites.
favorite of mine.
Yeah, I ate Bagel Bites too often, but you know what? I turned out okay, and now we're making a vegan version. One thing I want to note that is of interest here, Bagel Bites cheese, for some reason, was like little squares.
Yeah.
And so we stuck to it and we tried to make them as authentic as possible.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get a square baking pan and add 9 halves of mini bagels. And I actually just found these at my grocery store, so check around and hopefully you should be able to find some mini ones. And then I used the Earth Island mozzarella and cheddar slices, and I used about 4 slices and then sliced them into thin strips and then sliced those strips into little squares. This cheese didn't actually melt as well as I wanted, and you guys will see later on once these are baked. So if you have a cheese that melts a little bit better, then I recommend using that. And of course you don't have to cut it in squares, but if you want them to look the most like the Bagel Bites that you ate when you were a kid, cut them into squares because it looks almost exactly the same. Then you just want to bake those in your preheated oven for about 20 minutes or until they are starting to crisp up on the bottom and the cheese starts to melt on top. The cheese didn't melt as much as I wanted, but they still tasted great.
So the next one we wanted to make was Dunkaroos. I loved the ones with the little rainbow funfetti icing.
Those are the best ones.
I found a recipe online for the little Dunkaroo cookies. We're kind of iffy on it. It was okay, but we used a flax egg instead of a regular egg, and I think that might have changed it a little bit. I will link the recipe that we used below, but we used a flax egg. Maybe if you used a different kind of egg replacer, it might have worked.
Okay, so first you want to whisk together your flour, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, and salt until it is all combined. Then in another bowl, you want to cream together your vegan butter and brown sugar. I'm using my stand mixer because I am obsessed with it. And then I added in the flax egg and vanilla extract and mixed that again. Then you just want to add in your dry ingredients. I did this kind of slowly just so that it didn't poof everywhere, and mix it until it forms a dough. So then the recipe said to form it with your hands into a disc shape and wrap it in plastic wrap. I didn't have plastic wrap, so I just used this Ziploc bag and kind of pushed it in and made sure that it was airtight. And then I put it in the fridge and it has to chill for 2 hours. Then when it's done, you're supposed to take it out and roll it out with a rolling pin and use cookie cutters. But my dough, this might have been because I used a flax egg instead of a regular egg, my dough was not rolling out, so I actually just had to shape them by hand. It took quite a long time, and I wouldn't really recommend this, which is why I didn't really love this recipe, but you never know until you try, so there you go. So I just formed little round shapes and then baked those in the oven until they were golden brown. And while they were baking, I mixed together the frosting. So I got an accidentally vegan whipped vanilla frosting. If you just read the ingredients on a lot of canned frostings. You'll find that a lot of them actually are vegan. And then I just mixed in some little rainbow sprinkles to make it look like the funfetti frosting that was in my favorite Dunkaroos. Then once the cookies were done and kind of golden brown on top, I left them on the pan to crisp up because they come out a little bit soft and then they get nice and crunchy once they cool. And then I just added those into a little bowl and dipped them in the frosting.
If you did not put cut up hot dogs in your mac and cheese, did you even have a childhood? I don't know why cut up hot dogs and mac and cheese was a thing. We used my mac and cheese recipe, so it tastes a little bit more gourmet than, say, Kraft dinner. It doesn't taste as artificial, but I feel like that's a good thing.
The trick.
And we found noodles that were very, very similar to the little straight macaroni ones that Kraft dinner has.
So for this mac and cheese recipe, you guys love this recipe. I've posted it before. You want to add your macaroni, water, salt, and Dijon mustard to a pot and give it a good stir. And then put that on high heat and let it boil until all the water is absorbed into the macaroni. So this is my one pot mac and cheese recipe. So then once that's absorbed, you want to add in your non-dairy milk, your tahini, and nutritional yeast. And I also forgot to add lemon juice to this, so add some lemon juice. And of course the recipe will be below. And then you want to add in your vegan cheese. I used this really bright cheddar color because I wanted it to look as orange as possible since I was trying to make this like Kraft dinner. So just stir that until the cheese is all melted and everything's nice and creamy. And then you want to add in some chopped up veggie dogs. These are the brand Light Life, and they honestly smelled and tasted exactly like regular hot dogs. So just plopped those in and stirred it around and then served it in a bowl.
I could wait another night, one more night, one more night. I could fight it through.
So thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it inspired you to recreate your childhood foods, or maybe it just totally didn't. I don't know. I'm not actually that nostalgic about my childhood foods because most of them, to be quite honest, were very gross, and I feel like we eat way better now. Thank you, Karev, for making this video happen, essentially. If you guys want to try out Karev, you can get 25% off your first month. So yeah, I will link Karev and the quiz and all that below so that you guys can get your vitamins. But thank you again for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.